my take on grilled cheese is a little like it's like jeans and t-shirts. Like you just grab a pair, you grab one, they go together, you know? So like we've done pairing dinners where we worked on like, okay, we want to get the white ale with the like the lighter grilled cheese, and we'll get a stout and we'll do that one with the Reuben because it, you know, it's real meaty and hearty, and then you get that more umami flavor with the stout, and that's fun. But my thing is like, it's grilled cheese. Like just eat it, drink what you like. That's part of the fun of grilled cheese. You're literally like, I can do anything I want because it's not this, you know.
Right.
Yes, it's like anybody can have it, you know. My kid's mowing a classic grilled cheese while I'm eating one over here, and we're passing quarters back and forth. Like, me by that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Odd Pairing Podcast. I'm Paige, and I'm with Natasha. How are you doing?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Good week?
It's hot.
Again.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Bring my weather back.
Waiting for that 72?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. It snuck up on me a little bit, maybe like a couple of days ago, but it was only like maybe until like 12. And then I just seen it just shoot to 80. I went in the store, came back out, and it was 80. And I said, oh no, it's time to go back in the house. I don't care if my electricity bill is $1,000 a month. I will not be hot.
So. Yeah.
Oh, I don't worth
I like my air conditioned.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Today we have the founders of Bread and Cheese Eatery and lifelong friends Justin Frank and Devin Netting. Right?
Netting.
No.
Sorry.
Close enough.
Well, that G really throws me off.
It does.
But
It
welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having us.
You brought us some
Grilled cheese sandwiches, yeah. So we got two different grilled cheese sandwiches. We got two grilled cheese sandwiches. We got our vegan, which has vegan cheese, obviously. And we got our pizza grillzoni, which are two of our favorites. I think we should dive in and drink some beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And will you talk us through a little bit of the beer too?
For sure.
Yeah. So, like I said, you guys have our dairy-free version for those who are dairy-free, and we've got our pizza grillzoni here. And then we've got, we're drinking a Mexican lager from Prohibition, and then we're drinking the Mosaic IPA from Carl Strauss.
Perfect. Two great local breweries.
Yeah. Great local beers. Going with good grilled cheese. Beer and grilled cheese, you know? That's kind of how we got started. I'm sure that's going to come up, but I can dive into it. Yeah, I can dive into it. Let me get a little sip. So we started about 7 years ago. Just doing mobile, and most of our work was at breweries. So we were at Coronado a lot, we were at Modern Times a lot, and then we slowly grew doing farmers markets and then into festivals. We did a lot of beer festivals, obviously, and the business somehow just kept growing. So now we're at the Moonlight Amphitheater in Vista, and we're in the process of opening a restaurant in Oceanside. That's going to open in late August. And then at that restaurant, we're adding another brand that's going to be called And Breakfast Burritos. So in the mornings, we'll do breakfast burritos, and then in the afternoon, we'll do grilled cheese sandwiches.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
And where is this going to be at?
It's in Oceanside. The address is,
Oceanside,
Okay.
1904 South Coast Highway. It's right across from the Pour House, which is a bar. Yeah.
Well-known bar, sometimes
Yeah.
people know. Yeah.
Well known in the circle of people who know it.
In South O.
South.
And North
there you
North
go.
County.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good part of the highway.
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
part.
Tons
It's
of,
really growing right there.
Tons of car traffic, tons of people, nice community. We're really excited about it. And already we have our sign up, and people are walking in every day while I'm just on the computer, and they're like, "Oh, you guys open yet? You open yet?" So we're ready. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, before we start getting into any of the other stuff y'all got going on, great. Happy for y'all.
Thank you.
First of all, let's talk about this sandwich. For this to be plant-based cheese,
It's pretty good.
The sourdough is key.
it
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good bread. We got bread from Sage Roads, also in Oceanside. So having a good bread makes the difference, you
A
know.
huge difference.
like this
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah. Another key to our success, I feel like, is we make our own sauces. Each sandwich has its own sauce that goes on the outside of the bread. So that kind of crunches it up and gives each one a different flavor profile. And that's kind of the step that you probably wouldn't do at home, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of elevates it.
Yeah.
Because it's usually butter.
Butter and mayonnaise or
Yeah, when we got started,
That's what we do.
It's kind of fun. We were toying with a couple different concepts, and we fell on grilled cheese, and then we were like, all right, well, we gotta figure out what works best. So fortunately, we were able to get into a nice big commercial kitchen, and we ate.
A lot.
We probably ate, like, not exaggerating,
talking about it,
9, 10 full grilled cheeses over the course of a couple hours, but testing fake butter with ingredients, mayonnaise with ingredients, just
Did you have
started
a
going
team or
down.
just the two of you?
Just two of us,
Oh my
Is it
god.
better with 3 pieces of cheese or 2 pieces or 4 pieces and 3 of this and 2 of that, or
Yeah. By the end, you're just like, I don't know anymore, just sludge.
It's painful. It's painful doing it, but that's our job.
Someone had to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of like this. This is our job too. Not that bad.
Right. Yeah, because we had a guest on that they have like a coffee shop, and they were saying the same thing. Like they tried they were just coffeed out.
Yeah.
Because they was like trying to come up with like the perfect formula for it. So I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even just being, it's a simple food, right?
Right.
We're not reinventing the wheel here, but we wanted to sort of, okay, what can we do to make it, like, up it a little bit?
Yeah.
Make it the best we can possibly make it, and then make it slightly unique, So it's not just, you're not just
Yeah.
like,
Better than
sometimes
sometimes you'd make at home.
Yeah.
Better than your mom makes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because then I can go out and say that I'm going to Bread and Cheese Eatery
Yeah.
right.
to go get a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could make it at home, but why?
Yeah. Especially if we didn't do those steps, it was at the restaurant just as good as the ones you make at home. You'd be like, why am I
Exactly.
doing this? Like, it has to be better.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
have to have part of that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when I was like, didn't have any money in my life. And of course I would go somewhere and be like, oh, I'm gonna try to make this at home. No. Now, never. No, I'm in there.
As an adult, especially if you have kids, you're just so busy that you're like, all right, I'm just going to pay. I'll pay to get this done. I'll pay to do
if
that.
It's good, I'm paying.
For
That's
sure.
the thing. If it's good, you're like,
paying.
hey, I want what you have because you're the professional at doing it. That's what you do. You make ramen, so give me the ramen, I'll eat it. You make grilled cheese, you give me the grilled cheese, I'll eat it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like I'm not gonna be at home pretending that I can do this. None of that. I'm going straight to you. As soon as you open.
We'll be ready.
As soon as you open. Yeah, and I can't wait to see what the breakfast is gonna taste like.
Yeah, our breakfast burritos are really good. We have, I think it's 8 different breakfast burritos.
Something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we came out, our name is a little funny. Sometimes people are like, it starts with but the whole thing was, we kept being like, we want to hold a breakfast burrito. You're surfing and breakfast burritos, hiking and breakfast burritos.
yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you
that's
add a
clever.
breakfast burrito to
Yeah.
it, makes it better.
Right.
So.
And then on the
Totally
signage,
true.
it's cool too. It says Bread and Cheese Eatery and breakfast burritos.
Oh, so it's nice.
Yeah, like looks like 2 different things, but the "and" is part of the name.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
We
fun.
just call it ABB for short because,
Because an acronym.
yeah. Well, and, it was and breakfast burritos, people are like, did you say something before that?
What was the other part? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I missed the first part. You're like, no, and breakfast burritos.
No, that's just it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
And what is it? Yeah. That makes sense.
So do you guys have a culinary background or how did
bit.
you?
I mean, different for both of us, but
Yeah.
we grew up together, not in the same house, but close. My mom was a foods teacher for 40 years, so I just grew up like around her, doing her thing, and going to her foods lab and just whatever. Not formally trained or anything like that, but loving food, loving cooking, all that stuff. So
Yeah, he's a little bit more the culinary guy of the two of us. But I grew up loving cooking as well. I remember one time I was like 7 or 8 and I learned how to make an egg sandwich. My mom came home from work. I was like, I want to make you a sandwich, And I, looking back, I'm like, oh, that's probably not that normal. But like my whole life I was cooking and I like learned how to cook things at home and I liked making omelets and making burgers and, so I just kind of grew on my own and worked at restaurants and grew organically. But neither of us have taken culinary classes or anything.
And I love that you said that. Because I was just talking to someone like last week about that in terms of like, you don't really have to go to school
For sure.
to
Culinary
spend all
school
that
is
money.
expensive.
It is expensive as hell.
Yeah, and you'll learn just as much working at a restaurant. Not maybe just as much, but you can learn a lot working at a restaurant for 3 or 4 years instead of and making money that whole time instead of spending $100,000 during those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Gordon Ramsay did with MasterChef.
Yeah.
Them home cooks.
Yeah.
Now they got like restaurants and like none of them went to culinary school for anything. They probably learned it off of YouTube.
Yeah.
And just perfected it.
You'll probably get faster if you went to culinary school, but
Yeah.
like we both cook at home a lot for our families. We love cooking.
Do y'all do invites or what?
You guys are both invited. We both actually got those flat top grills recently too, so we've been like sharing recipes and stuff.
Yeah,
so we would love to have you
have fun.
both over.
Please.
Well, we've been cooking on huge flat tops for, the better part of almost 8 years now or whatever
Right.
at work.
I'm
So
not saying that because these cameras
And you didn't
are
have one at
I
home.
need to have an invite.
You're invited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool.
But with the cooking, we didn't want our restaurant concept or our catering to be a whole lot of prep. As much as we like cooking, we didn't want it to
Yeah.
be our job necessarily, the cooking part. So we wanted something that was a little bit low prep, can get out there and, bringing it back to the beer and stuff is like beer festivals, events, fun things where we can crank.
Comfort
we
food,
want
high
to,
quality comfort food.
we want to make a bunch of them.
Yeah, and we've set up our system so we can train anyone how to do it. It's pretty easy, and not a lot of prep. So just the whole the concept worked on a lot of levels.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you
Yeah, like
can.
barbecue, for example, it's 15 hours of cooking before you even start.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas us, we're just like, all right, we're ready. Let's grab some cheese, grab some bread, let's go.
Yeah. I learned that a lot with because my husband, he's a chef.
Okay.
And that's his main complaint when it comes to like hiring prep cooks, or the people who's supposed to like prep. That's his main complaint. It's like they never prep enough. And I'm like, well, what is it that you guys can do that could be like quicker?
Yeah.
And you guys have figured part of that out
Yeah.
in terms of just being able to do that, to be able, and then having that you can go from food truck to restaurant to festival all in one if you guys wanted to, because
Yeah.
it's so simple to make and it's delicious.
That's the important part.
That's the
All
part
that other
that
stuff you can do, but if it's not delicious, it's not going to work.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I care about is the deliciousness
Agreed.
of it all.
I think that's what everyone cares about,
Yeah.
But there's a ton of little things around it that you have to have. So it has to be delicious, but then the presentation has to be good and the service has to be good, but it has to be delicious at its core.
There's always a lot of shitty restaurants that do well. That's what I'm always like, how is that possible?
Location, probably.
Or I was
yeah,
going to say,
like-
and experience. Like,
I think a lot of
whatever
people
the.
don't care about food as much as you or I might. You know what I mean? Some people just want to eat, and some people just don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely become a more of a foodie over the years. Cause I wasn't like
Yeah, you
I could
appreciate.
I would
as you
drink.
get
I would
older.
drink my food and I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But being with my husband, like when we first got together, it was just a lot, like just me being in the kitchen with him, like watching him prep and watching him like cook and then plate and like all of these things. And then we go out to restaurants. And I mean, I'm going to my favorite restaurants with him, taking him, like, we should go here and we should do that. And he going in there like frozen. They didn't prep that right. That's cut shitty. Look at how big the onions are compared to. And now I'm in there doing this. I'm telling my friends, this is shitty.
I do the same to my wife.
I know this.
I'm like, I can't eat there. She's like, why? I'm like, I'm just not. You can go. I'm not going.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I think that's what it is.
Let's all go in. I'm going to go to this place over here. Have family, have fun. Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is in terms of like people aren't looking for quality as much anymore because everything is so Instagrammable.
Yeah.
Like I could take a picture of it and it's gotta look pretty or whatever. And then I see people do that and I see them go to these restaurants and take a picture of these drinks or, take a picture of the food or whatever. And I'm like, you don't know food.
Right.
If you posted that, you don't know food.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Because I know people around here who making some great food and they don't have to plate it in a way for it to be such a, like to look great. Because I think of it like almost like putting lipstick on a pig, right? So you kind of have like this notion of that, oh, I'm going to make this soup. If it looks too pretty to me, I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
What does it cost a ton?
And
what's under there?
Yeah.
What's really under there? And a lot of these places, they're doing it now because they want to have that social media kind of like content of a plate.
they're creating content.
Yeah.
That's almost a different job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Or like different thing, right? Like you're
Yeah.
not really focused on the food. You're focused on all the presentation, right?
Yeah.
But then you have someone who comes in like me and my husband and we're in there like, that was cute, but never
Right.
again.
Yeah.
Never again. Yeah, you didn't
I hate
even
when you
cook
get
my
those
noodles all the
small
way.
little portions. You're like, okay, well, I spent a bunch of money. I'm still hungry.
Right.
Where are
Yeah.
we going after?
Yeah. Yeah.
Second
It's-
dinner.
Yeah, it's usually like that.
Where else can we eat?
Where else can we eat? Yeah.
Get a burger afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Were there any other concepts that you were
Like when we
Kind of
started, we were like, okay,
experimenting
should
with?
we do sausages? Should we do pizza? Like we knew we wanted to start at events.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are the common event foods? You know, so we kind of went down all of them and talked about it. And we didn't want to do this, we didn't want to do that. And we're like, oh, what about grilled cheese? And there aren't a lot of grilled cheese vendors out there, but like if you go to a lot of these events, there's tons of sausages or hot dogs. You know,
yes.
like tacos is really popular too. We kind of talked about doing tacos, and I don't know, bread and cheese just felt right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like he was saying, pizza, everyone loves pizza, but then it's a whole world, right? Like what kind of, you doing thin crust, you doing thick crust, you making your own dough, you're not making your own dough. And I was like, I'm not doing pizza. You know what I mean? And it was, burgers. It was like,
It's a lot of crap.
same thing. Like, are you getting your own patties? You grinding your own meat? You buying frozen? What kind of quality? I feel like we could do the best quality that we felt comfortable with and make it kind of, easy. And for events, I mean, our whole thing was like, we knew we had to do some volume if we we're going to do some bigger events,
Yeah.
So we didn't want to be out there being
The
like,
worst
we're doing
thing
enchiladas, like just give me
The
1
worst
hour.
thing at an event is when the food line
forever.
is
Yeah,
forever, and then you
exactly.
miss part of the event
Yeah.
as like an attendee, and you're
Right.
like, oh, your food took forever, and
Yeah.
sorry, like whatever. Did you always know that you wanted to kind of start with the like beer festivals or at breweries? Like, where did that alcohol component come from?
So we did Kaboo one year for a different restaurant. Actually, Justin used to own a restaurant, and I helped out. I just was like an hourly
just a buddy, I
employee,
needed
just
help. Yeah.
cooking sausages, doing it. After that event, we were like, I think we could do this like ourselves instead of working for somebody else. And we started brainstorming like, what could we do that we could get it
But
going?
also worked out like he didn't like his job and my restaurant went out of business, so we like both had to find something to do.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, why
that'll
don't we
give
do
some
this together?
Inspiration.
and the big inspiration was I quit my job and he didn't have a job, and my wife was like 7 months pregnant, and so we were like, well, we got to make money now.
That'll do it.
But yeah, we started just him and I at farmers markets and breweries and made it work. And yeah, there's like one picture from like one of our first events, and it's like an unbranded tent with a tablecloth that's like off center, and like our menu that like we wrote, and it's like I still like I want to frame it and put it in our restaurant, but it's like inspiration for me. It's like wow,
Yeah.
we've like I feel like we still haven't made it. Like there's so many more goals we want to do, but like from that picture, we've definitely made
Humble
it.
We had a
beginnings.
painting party when we first started of like, okay, we're making the menus, like here's the ingredients, like you get to do a board. So like his sister was like, okay, I'm doing one, this one's called this, and then here you got to do one, and like we had a buddy do one, and he held it up, and we're like, no.
But yeah,
like,
the
it's not making
ingredients
the
were
cut.
like listed in different orders on everyone. The size was different on everyone.
So we painted. So like just your friends. Like some of your friends are really artistic, some of your friends are
Well, you found out which ones are and which ones aren't.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so we've grown a lot since then with a lot of room to grow still.
I think you guys definitely gonna do well in Oceanside, and especially the location you have. Come on,
for
That's
sure.
that's the
I mean,
goal, right? We
I don't
hope.
want a surf and burrito, huh? I
Exactly.
don't want to do that. Yeah, that
Like
makes a lot of sense.
burrito, any of that. Like you're right. You can do anything with a burrito.
That's right.
Totally, especially on your way to work, on a field trip, on the way to school, on a hike, and a bike ride, surf. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, we just did our first events.
We did our first two events with breakfast burritos,
It
which
was
were Pride and Comic Con.
Yeah, so 6 days, and I think we sold around 1,000 burritos between the
Yeah.
6 days.
Yeah, we did.
And we didn't really know. We were like, oh, in the morning we're definitely going to do well because it's morning. And they just kept going all day.
Yeah,
And it was
people
like,
were loving
oh, okay, it's 4 p.m. People are just ordering burritos. Great.
yeah.
So that was fun.
People don't like the idea of cutting off food at different times anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And breakfast late in
Eggs
the
are
day
good
is
all the time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, bread food is good.
Yeah.
yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. So your menu includes a variety of like grilled cheese options. Could you recommend some very specific pairings with different types of alcohol beverages?
Different types of alcoholic beverages.
Not beer.
Well,
just
it could be
different
beer.
beers.
It could be different beers.
Got
it could
it.
be.
It can.
I don't know. Whatever.
This is I hope this isn't a cop-out answer, but
Okay.
my take on grilled cheese is a little like it's like jeans and t-shirts. Like you just grab a pair, you grab one, they go together, So like we've done pairing dinners where we worked on like, okay, we want to get the white ale with the like the lighter grilled cheese, and we'll get a stout and we'll do that one with the Reuben because it's real meaty and hearty, and then you get that more umami flavor with the stout, and that's fun. But my thing is like, it's grilled cheese. Like, just eat it, drink what you like. That's part of the fun of
Yeah.
grilled cheese. You're
Simplicity
literally
of
like,
it. Yeah.
I can do anything I want because it's not this,
Right.
Yes, it's like anybody can have it. My kid's mowing a classic grilled cheese while I'm eating one over here, and we're passing quarters back and forth. Like, give me a bite of that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of personal preference too. Like, are you more of a beer person or more of a wine person? But everything goes good when you're eating a grilled cheese. you
Right.
know?
I mean, cheese, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So it was something. So I saw that you guys went to some very prestigious schools around here. What made you, I guess, go more into doing the cooking piece of it? And first of all, what did you guys go to school for?
I went to school for marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a degree in marine biology. Seriously.
So neither one of you guys did anything.
Well, I mean, I think our marketing
Part
and
of it,
branding is
yeah.
pretty good compared to a
Right.
lot of the other like mobile food vendors, and I think that has helped us a little bit. Hopefully. But yeah, like our branding and our these type of things, they make a difference.
They do.
Yeah.
This is true. Like
Once you see our restaurant, you'll
like
see
your shirt.
too.
Like that is so cute of how
Thank you. Yeah, I get a lot of compliments.
The
I was
slice
like,
of
oh, I love
bread and
that.
the slice of cheese is like holding hands.
Yeah,
House.
I think
They're
the
fresh.
biggest mix was Justin had done a lot with restaurants, opening restaurants,
I have a lot of restaurant
working
experience.
working in restaurants. I'd done a lot with events, like just big events, all types of different ones. So just kind of
Any
combining
with
those
marine
two.
biology though.
Nothing with marine biology.
Are there a lot of big marine biology events?
Huge marine biology events. We have Octopus Fest, Dolphin Fest. We got all the big ones. So just kind of combining those two, that's kind of where the first thing came from. And then a lot of people, I think it's like, let's open a restaurant. We were originally like, we do not want to open a restaurant. We
Right.
want to open a event-based food
Just
catering.
go where the people are, right?
Yeah, we
Right,
didn't want to
right.
do all the marketing stuff. We slowly led into that because I think we've had success and we've said, people do like us, and people are always asking like, where can I go regularly? Where's your location?
Exactly.
What are you doing? So, we're like, oh yeah, we should.
I need
maybe
a
we
grilled
should start
cheese on
that.
the
Looking
man.
for
Yeah,
it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple restaurant opportunities came our way. So we were in the Windmill Food Hall for a while. Unfortunately, we had to close that during COVID. And we were also had a spot in East Village downtown. And that one we also had to close during COVID. So we kind of like 2 steps back and now 2, 3, 4 steps forward,
Yeah.
So there's this cool probiotic drink that's out called Z-Biotics. And if you haven't heard of them, it's basically a probiotic drink that breaks down the byproduct of alcohol. That's basically responsible for that rough morning that you have. If you order some, if you go on their website and order some, you can get a special discount through Odd Pairing by putting in our code OddPairingPod. That's OddPairingPod. And you'll be able to get a discount. Happy drinking. So I see we talking about a little bit about the catering business too. And there's the Kindness Certified Company.
Yeah. So that's a certification that we got. It's a nonprofit organization called Kindness Certification. And basically they ask companies to make a pledge that you're going to be kindness to your people in everything you do. So we read the pledge and we talked about it and we're like, yeah, we want to do that. We already do most of those things anyways. So it's just a classification that, we take care of our people and we do good things essentially.
Yeah.
and serve any and all people,
Right.
Trying to
First
be
of all,
woke and
that's
all
It's
that.
kind of just like a motto to live by type of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild that they even have to have something like that for people to get certified in,
I think
firstly.
it's just to point out, like, hey, this company, has values that maybe match up with your values.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's it's less of a they call it a certification, but it's more of like, hey, like these people are welcoming. Go work here or go here.
Yeah.
Patronize them because they have similar values to you. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, it definitely goes into alignment of what I do anyway with my clients.
Yeah.
I usually always tell them, I say, it's so easy to be mean and negative. It's
Yeah.
the easiest thing in the world to do.
For
Because
sure.
your brain automatically goes negative.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of work to be positive and kind. So
Yeah.
for them to have a certification of it, it just proves my point anyway. Let me go ahead and
Well, you guys
see what I can do with it, right? Right, exactly.
Personally kindness certified. Ma'am, I'm kindness certified.
Right.
You're in my
step
space.
back.
Exactly.
I'm being kind.
Right. I'm being kind right now.
Right.
You might wanna step it back a little bit.
You guys mentioned that you have young families. How has that been with being business owners?
I think we kind of lucked out in the timing. Like, obviously, kids take a lot of time, you know. But our business has grown to the point that we don't have to be at events as much as we did when we first started. Devin, not unfortunately, but Devin had a kid right away. So, like, it was a little bit more juggling for him, where the first couple of years, I was like, oh, no, this is great. He's like, well, I got to go. Like, and we're good enough friends, and we don't always have to do the same amount of work every day. You know, it's like a marriage. It's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 80-20. Sometimes it's 20-80. And we're both good friends and good workers, so we understand that. And but yeah, we're a little lucky now that we have people that run events for us. We have people that run Moonlight for us. So we're not grinding as much as we used to.
We have very supportive partners.
Yes, that
we
is a good
have.
one, too.
I think having kids. You know, we have 5 between us, so it's like
That's a lot.
yeah, he knows and I know. So it's hey, I gotta
the
go. Something happened.
Who got the most?
I have 3. He's got 2. Yeah.
Sounds like it's an uneven number there.
Yeah, I got to catch up, you know.
Yeah. So it's
Do you?
the kind of the constant push and pull of family life versus work life.
Yeah.
But it's easy because we see eye to eye, and neither of us is sitting there going, hey, come on. And it's like,
Yeah, I
Right.
work every
Go,
day.
go,
You
yeah.
haven't, but
Go,
neither of us
go.
have left each
Yeah.
other hanging either.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, I was thinking because also with being event based, a lot of family stuff happens on the weekends and having family.
yeah.
Like, how does that?
Yeah, sometimes it's just calling
hard.
on our partners like,
Yeah.
hey, this last 2 weeks was really busy for us. It was like, we're going to be gone and sorry,
Yeah.
so sometimes you got
Well,
to do
it
what you got
is
to
what
do.
it is, but I think we do
It's
a good
understanding.
balance.
It's
Yeah.
understanding.
Everyone has
Yeah.
to work,
Yeah,
that's the reality. And
Yeah.
hopefully we're working towards something that in a couple years supports the families and the wives don't have to work, and that's the goal. We'll
Yeah.
see if we get there.
Do they come out and work the events or work with you guys?
Our
Or
first event ever, they both came and worked with us. It was Devin and I and our 2 wives. It was great, and neither of them have worked.
They both work full time. I mean, they're hardworking women. They're working full time. So
Yeah.
I think their work is watching the kids while we're working, which is a full job.
The other thing is owning our own business is nice because we are flexible. So we do get those times. So we make sure we make time for our families, and we can do that. I would say, I don't want to say better, but differently than if we had regular jobs. So sometimes we're
Right.
on all weekend, but it's like, hey, we're gonna take the week off and do
Yeah, so I
something
think through
or whatever.
Friday we're dropping off kids, picking up kids, doing things with
Yeah.
the dogs. We're a lot very open on the weekdays.
yeah,
So I think that helps a lot. That not everyone has,
absolutely. Flexibility is huge. So big. So what are some of the most rewarding experiences that you've had with Bread and
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I keep going back to is like, I'm so glad I don't have a boss. Or coworkers, really. Like, we do our own thing, we set our own schedule, and we're doing well. So, like, having someone telling me what to do, like, I hear my wife complain about her work sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. I don't want. That sounds terrible.
That sounds wild.
Yeah, a real job, man.
I think I wouldn't like that either.
For sure. So that's one thing that I find kind of rewarding, like daily. Like, and also like working with Devin, like he's a good friend, one of my best friends, and being able to like call him regularly and work together and problem solve is really nice. I'm sure a lot of people can't say the same thing about their coworkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I loved working from home.
Yeah.
Oh God, people was like, "Oh, don't you just miss like being in the office?" I was like, "I didn't like y'all in the first place. I didn't like y'all in the beginning. So what made y'all think I would have come back to y'all? No."
Yeah.
We have
We're
one of our employees who's great. She was telling me how much she loves working in an office, though. She has an office job as well. We have a lot of people who work for us as like the second job. And I was like, man, we need people like you though, because I worked in an office for I think 10 months, and I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
I couldn't do
Then they
it.
want to have potlucks, and they want to ask you questions about your life, and I'm just
That's what you're
like,
gonna complain about.
listen, I
Potlucks.
hate potlucks.
Potlucks, work
Hate
potlucks.
them.
Potlucks with family.
Now that's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Friends love it.
Yeah.
You just hate bringing food to people. I get it.
It's not even that. Like I said, with friends, love it.
Yeah, for
Family,
sure. I get it.
love it.
Yeah, being forced to socialize with coworkers is like a
It's
thing.
the absolute worst.
There's a couple coworkers everyone likes, but then there's a couple that you hate or don't like, and you have to talk to them too. And you have to work with them too, but we don't have to.
My coworker is my dog now.
There you go.
I'm gonna need you to sit down, sir, because you're kind of running around in the background.
Too much.
People can hear you. You know, yeah. That's probably not. Or you're crunching too loud, or drinking water too loud, because those things happen. The dog. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. You're eating your lunch a little too loud over there.
Sorry, that's my coworker.
I was saying one of the things I find rewarding, to be honest, though, is like when we were at an event recently and we kind of went off and we're sitting chatting, not behind our booth, and just watching people walk over and be like, "Oh, this is so good," and kind of watching people eat our food.
Yeah, watching people enjoy our food
it.
is very
It's pretty
rewarding.
fun.
I
to be
bet.
Like, and we can walk through and be like, "That person has pineapple crush. Ooh, that person's enjoying the grilled cheese. Ooh, that person's had." You know what I mean? So that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's
Friday
cool.
Comic-Con, like we said, we had breakfast burritos. So we had grilled cheese, pineapple crush, and breakfast burritos. And like watching all three of them be busy at the same time and everyone walking around with their smoothies and eating our food is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see your
You seeing people enjoy your work.
Yeah, exactly.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
exactly.
That is really
And
special.
being able to not cook them and just sit there and watch the team cook them is nice too.
Exactly.
Having a team.
Yeah, having a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about like challenges? I know COVID was probably a
Yeah.
huge challenge.
COVID is a huge challenge, I mean, look, for everybody. There was a couple months there where we were like, "Is this it? Like, are we
Yeah,
done?
we're done.
I
We
don't
didn't
know.
know.
Like, maybe we don't have a business anymore,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just to be honest with this, the like little things kind of day to day. We have some great employees, but just kind of, it's always like constantly something's on fire and you're just like putting out little fires here and there.
It's always something.
It's
always
and
something,
sometimes
yeah.
like just too many things pile up at the same time or the same day and you're just like, why don't I just have a real job where I can coast? That's the reality is like there's...
Because you don't want coworkers.
Right.
That's why.
I know why. But I'm just saying, like, there's no out. There's no easy
Yes.
way. It's just
Yeah,
like,
it's all
okay,
on
it
you.
falls on us. Like, no matter
Yeah.
what, someone, like, our catering manager quit in May, right before Moonlight opened, right before the catering season started,
Oh, wow,
right
yeah.
before we closed escrow on our restaurant. And it was just like, oh, that was a big punch to the gut.
Yeah.
We've had him for 2 years and he's a great guy. We love him. He just got a better job and stuff. But okay, now Devin and I put our heads together. How are we going to solve this problem? Neither he or I are going to work the events all summer. So we got to hire someone, train someone. Okay, what does that look like? How are we going to do it? What's the timeline?
Yeah.
To start problem solving. And I think we're both pretty good at that. So that,
And we have a good, we do a good job of just kind of like, when we have an issue, anything, if it's a 9 for him and it's a 7 for me, we just go with his thing. If it's a 9 for me and it's a 5 for him, we go with mine. So we'll just be like, I really think we should do it this way. It's like, I think this way. And it's like, where are you at? And it's like,
how
I'm
important is this?
really important to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you win. So we just
Yeah.
don't even fight about stuff. It's just like,
yeah, I don't think we've had any like real arguments.
no.
Yeah. That's a plus.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a lifelong friendship.
Yeah.
But you
literally,
probably
our
already
parents
figured
were
all that other
friends
stuff
before
out.
we were born, so we've known each other our whole lives.
Yeah, we grew up almost like
Literally.
cousins.
Yeah.
I say cousins because like we didn't live in the same city, and then we would just go to each other's houses for like barbecues and family events, and so we knew each other by proxy because our parents would get together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like we didn't go to school together or anything like that, but it was just like our whole lives we just knew each other.
Yeah.
So
And still
Both
to
Southern
this day,
California?
Yeah. I was in Burbank and he was in Whittier.
Oh, okay.
Now, my sister lives in San Diego as well. His sister lives in San Diego as well. His mom lives in San Diego. My parents live in San Diego. So
and actually his sister is married to one of my really good family friends on a different side.
Oh,
They ended up
gosh.
meeting.
It's like,
So now it's all web together.
we get
yeah.
together a lot, which is
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. What do you think that you guys would have been doing if you weren't grilled cheesing?
That is a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah,
If you hadn't, I mean, you
Probably
obviously be out there with
riding a
the.
dolphin somewhere.
That's what I said.
I was like doing something with an
I was like, you probably whale watching or doing
No,
something with the dolphin.
no.
yeah. I think I would still be some type of an entrepreneur. For that not wanting to work with people thing. But what? I don't know. I really.
I don't know either.
Like that was one of the things we kind of talked about, like when COVID first hit. We were like, what are we going to do? Like, if this doesn't work, what are we
Right.
going to do?
Right.
Like, we don't have, like, we both have degrees, but we don't have a lot of work experience in anything else, you know? So
Yeah.
hopefully it keeps working.
It will. Y'all keep
I think
making
so.
y'all keep making sounds just like this.
Consider ourselves unemployable, you know? Like, you go for an interview and you're like, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, if you want, I can be the
Don't wanna
CEO
do
of this
that.
company.
That's me. Everywhere I go.
Yeah, I'll run this. I'll run
I
this.
can run
Sorry,
this.
Sorry, yeah. I can come in at 10. I could leave around 2.
Yeah.
That work for you guys?
that
Does
work? Yeah.
I'll be very efficient in those 4 hours, though. Trust me.
Right.
The most efficient.
And then pay me as though I'm working 8.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pay? No,
Right. Yeah.
To the roof. There you go.
Yeah.
I
So
like 7 digits.
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. It sounds like y'all got 6 digits around here. Y'all don't do 7? No one does? Okay.
I just want one more. That's all. Just one more digit, guys. I'm not asking a lot here.
Right. Yeah. So what do you guys got coming up? Besides opening up in Oceanside,
Yeah, so
what
we
else
literally
do
just
you guys have?
finished our busiest month of the year. We had like 2 busy weeks at Moonlight, then we had Pride, then we had Comic-Con. So now we have a couple weeks of like, I don't want to say chill. Like Moonlight's still going. We still have events this weekend, but we had our biggest events.
Yeah,
So
our busy thing, I mean, coming up, it's opening the restaurant. I mean, to be honest, we could probably open sooner, but we needed to pick a time when both of us were around, ready, had the emotional and mental space. And it's like, okay, we can do this where we're there kind of round the clock for some period of time till we feel like we have people in place and everything. We didn't want to just
Yeah.
open and like,
Running
thanks for
around.
coming in. Here's your grilled cheese. I don't even know. You know,
I was gonna say, like, running
Kitchen's
around.
on fire. Cook yourself because we don't know what's going on. So,
but yeah, Devin's going on a vacation and I'm going on a vacation. So both of those reasons are why we're actually opening a little bit later than we probably
family
could have.
obligations, you know,
Yeah.
got to do it.
I think that's great that you recognize that you need to have
Exactly.
breaks and
sure.
like mental health to be successful.
Yeah, if we didn't, I think.
Our
We're-
wives
we're-
would leave us as
Yeah.
more.
Well, also we're good about kind of like taking care of ourselves and being like, let's push it a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
We could just
Yeah.
put our
That's the
Head
benefit
down.
of owning your own business,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
call the shots.
And your timing is your timing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it's going to go.
We're notorious non-worriers, which
Yeah.
actually worries sometimes our partners, but
Oh, that
Oh.
would like totally freak me
I
out.
told Lorenza, I was like,
She'll be
I'll
like,
do
"You're
all
like-"
the worrying for the family. And she's like, well, you're not going to worry. I was like, don't worry about
Exactly.
that. Don't worry about that. You're already worried about something. I got it.
so it's like you're gonna just say it's
I'll
okay.
take
And I'm
that
like, it is
on.
okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I am
fine.
totally that person in my relationship. My husband is the worrier. He's going to think of I told him, I said, you are going to be so great when we have an apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, something that happens because you think of all the what ifs
Yeah.
that could possibly happen to me. I'm going to get killed in the first,
I'm like,
first couple of seconds.
friendly.
Right.
Yeah. They don't eat everyone's brains.
These guys are probably good. Yeah. But I'm not staying behind worrying about nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is such a great quality to have, especially when you are in a business or whatever. Because the thing is having the art of radical acceptance. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Either we're gonna start it at this time or we not. We're gonna do it when it's supposed to happen or we not. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen or it's not. And that's the way I always look at things because if I spend most of my time worrying about it, I've wasted.
For sure. That's, I heard a really good quote that I keep telling Lorenzo, but hopefully it'll sink in. But worrying, I'm going to mess it up. Worrying,
You're like, I've said it before.
yeah. Worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's issues. It takes away today's joy.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That is exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wise.
I was going to say
It was
beautiful.
on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Some
I was
content.
scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is, and that's really, it's, I think more bosses should have that type of mindset.
Yeah.
Because even when you put in out fires, it takes away from your employees having that thought process of that, oh my God, they're going to come in here and they're going to just lose their shit on everybody and it's just not going to be great or whatever. If you come in smooth, like, okay, yes, this shit over here is on fire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we
what's the
already know the
solution? How are we gonna
steps.
fix it?
Right. We
Right.
already know the steps on how to do it. So everybody take a
Yeah,
breath.
not why
We're
did it happen?
good.
What are we going to do to fix it?
Exactly. And then also just kind of just thinking about like what is already in place so when we don't have to worry. I tell people that's why I get insurance so I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
Sure.
someone wrecks or, hit my car or whatever, like my husband, he'll lose his shit. if somebody does it. I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting a new BMW in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I'm just getting a new one in the morning.
I like
Cause
that quote right there.
You say that every
Guess I'm
day.
getting a new BMW.
I guess because I do think of it still as an inconvenience when something is happening. Yes,
sure.
this
Inconvenient.
Is yep, this is an inconvenience that this is happening, but it's not gonna ruin my whole thought process on why I started this, why this is happening, any of those type of things. What lesson am I supposed to be learning right now?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get there.
We were talking about enjoying things with our job, and this is what we usually end up talking about. It was like the other day, I grabbed a 10-pound bag of mango that just ripped open, just went everywhere, and that was probably the most annoying thing in my day. So I was just cleaning like frozen mango out from every corner of my car. Normally I don't use my personal car for errands, and that was what I got. So,
That's what you learned.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's what those particular situations are for. Is for us to kind of learn what not to do the next time. No one gave us a handbook on where I'm supposed to put frozen mangoes, how I'm supposed to hold it or anything.
Yeah.
No one gave us that.
Man, they were melting quick.
You know what I mean?
They were getting nasty.
No one told us any of those particular things because people you kind of learn those things along the way. And I think if people understand that, that'll be a lot less worrying. This is meant for me to learn along the way. It's not meant for me to just sit
All
here
these things are lessons.
and lose my shit over.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing. My husband knows. He'd be like, you're not even worried about it. I'd be like, I'm not. Because it's going to figure itself out in some shape, form, or fashion. It's going to figure itself out.
It always does.
Yeah.
I like the what's the worst that's going to happen kind of mentality too.
Yes.
Like, okay, well, what's the worst that's going to happen here?
And when you dwindle it down, everyone always says, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I always go, well, I didn't hear you was going to die. So sounds like we good.
As long as we're not going to die, I don't really care. You know?
And even then, it's over.
Like a plane engine falls in the building. It's like, well, we can't do anything about that, so we're dying.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's a great mentality that you guys have as bosses of your business, because it allows everyone else to kind of relax too.
Totally.
Like at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. You want that even when people are working for you, because I do believe that not everyone is supposed to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone should own a business, because we saw what happened in 2020. Customer service was wild in 2020. But at the same time, when you have something that you're opening and you're doing it in a way of that you are now, it's no worries.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that's going on. I'm in control of this. And even when I'm not, who cares?
Yeah.
A lot of people that decided that they can work for someone else, I find that to be great, because we do need worker bees.
For sure.
We do, right? And so if you guys are creating an environment for worker bees who want to kind of come in and be able to work with almost this kind of mentality that you guys have of like, don't worry, it's fine. We'll put that fire out. We're good. We're still going to, open up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It just makes a very good, more environment to kind of have. That's why the kindness certified company, that's part of it. It's not just you saying thank you and my pleasure. It's not just that. It's just you guys are like literally creating that environment for your workers, which is a great thing in this.
Good employers, I think we are. I think our team is
we're
happy.
constantly. That's one thing we're constantly talking about. Is just like, well, what does this mean for the people who work for us? Like, are they going to like that? They're not going to like that. How do we make their work environment the best it can be? We have a lot of. We have a big variety of people who work for us, but we have a lot of younger people who work for us, or people it's their second gig. So it's kind of like, hey, we want this to be fun and something you engage in, and that you want to come back to. Still work, but at the end of the day, it's like, how do we make it kind of the best possible? So we're always like, tell us so we can make it better for you.
Right. Because not everyone's gonna stay. Not everyone's gonna stay. Some people use it as a stepping stone to go somewhere else.
We have a lot of people just doing their first jobs, so we get a lot of that.
Right. And so some people, they just kind of just want to make some money over a certain amount of time or whatever until they can go and like do their own thing. But yet when you create that environment, it gives them a choice and an opportunity to be like, do I want to stay or do I want to go? And then you guys are like, I'm supporting you whichever way you go.
Yeah.
Whether you stay here or you go. Yeah. I'm supporting you in however, whichever way you go. So yeah, kudos to you guys. I love that. I absolutely love that.
We've talked a little, we've brought up the Moonlight a couple times, but for people who don't know the Moonlight, do you want to
For sure.
I mean, I'm a
So we're
frequent.
we are
You're a
the
moonlighter.
I'm a moonlighter, but I want you guys
we're the
to.
concessionaire. So we have a full bread and cheese or a modified bread and cheese restaurant at the Moonlight. You can get a number of our different sandwiches and sides, all types of things, and then we also run the beer and wine bars there. And we do all the choosing of the alcohol and all that stuff. So when you come to Moonlight and you come see a show, they run shows
May to October.
Yeah, May to October. Usually like 3-week runs of musical theater, and then there's your concerts in between. Anytime you come to the Moonlight, you can get food from us or drinks from us or both. And it's a fun place because you can bring in some of your own stuff. And I know a lot of people just supplement. They'll come over and get fries and a soda and some pretzel bites and do that way. Or some people come and eat full dinner. So it's great.
Yeah.
But Moonlight is a local theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vista. Sorry.
In Vista. Yeah.
And how many seasons or how many years have you guys been doing the
So it's
food
our
now?
third season.
Third,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. Just the atmosphere.
It's such a great place.
It's like a hidden gem.
It is.
For sure.
It is. Yeah.
And-
It's been there 42 years, and we've been there 3, but I had never heard of it. I've lived in San Diego for almost 20 years.
And the production quality is
Yeah, sure.
phenomenal.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's so
Yeah, they do a
good.
really
It's
good
so
job.
underrated.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For us, it's kind of a fun challenge because we have a lot of repeat customers. So it's like this kind of constant, like, what do we change? What do we do kind of year to year to make sure we're a little fresh? We can't change everything, but we want to
Right.
add a
we try and
sandwich,
change
add some of
something every
this,
year.
change something here, freshen up things, make sure we're kind of hitting all the things, So yeah,
And
it's
that's how
fun.
you gain new customers too.
For
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you guys are there because it's another local business that the Moonlight is supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Instead of having, a larger concession type
Right.
of company
Yeah. Chipotle
who
or
doesn't
something.
have
Right.
a connection to the community, because it is a community-based
For sure.
center and activity and experience that people have. And so to have another community-based business
Yeah.
that's invested, be a part of that makes it another thing that makes it so special.
Yeah,
So-
that's a good point.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretzel bites are really good.
They are.
All right, so we're at the part of our show where we do a drinking story.
Drinking still.
And
So
so,
first, you want me?
You can go first.
Okay.
so yeah, so we so just in case, Devin, that you haven't watched most of the show, we do a drinking story that involves, it could be something funny, it could be a crazy night that you had, it could be something inspirational, it could be a moment between you and your father.
Just getting wasted.
Just getting wasted. But it could be any type of, we accept them all here. So yeah.
Right, so mine is the first time I went to Europe, I was in London with my buddy Andy, who had been to Europe before. And it happened to be during the World Cup. This would have been 2006? No. Yeah, 2006. It's 2006. So the World Cup's going on. It's in Europe, and England's playing. So we're like, we got to go to a pub and watch the game. So we go to a pub and we try and find a local pub. We were the only tourists there. It's all locals watching the game, and we're just putting back the Guinness, drinking, chanting with everyone. And then England won the game. So after, everyone's in the streets and we're partying, and then there's the big fountain in Trafalgar Square. So people started getting in the fountain. I was like, Andy, here's all my stuff. I'm getting in that fountain. I gave him my camera. I gave him everything.
Yeah.
So I'm in the fountain. I'm cheering with people. I'm like, yeah, England. And then I don't know what came over me, but I tackled some guy. Like, he was in the water and I tackled him. And he was this big guy, and he came up and he was just like, what? I was like, England, yeah. And he was like, yeah. So it was like epic night, this is our first day in Europe. And then the next day I was like, Andy, did we just have the best night of the trip on the first day? And he's like, we might have, but we're still gonna have a good trip. I was just like, it was just a great day, super fun. First time drinking in Europe, and yeah, it was
So
awesome.
good to tackle.
Yeah, I don't know what I was
Might as
thinking,
well.
but I just tackled some
I
big
didn't
English
think
dude.
it could get any more white man wasted. I already said, okay, he's
Chanting
taking his
England.
clothes off.
Chanting England in
Yeah,
the
he's
fountain
taking his
and-
clothes
yeah.
off. He's in the fountain. Okay, got it. And then
Yeah.
you tackled someone, and I said, yep, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Yeah.
It was fun.
Oh, that's so good.
Man, I gotta think. I've been thinking because I got prepped a little bit. Justin was like, "Oh, you gotta come up with something," and I was like, "Yeah, what direction do we want to go here, though?" So
I mean, we can take two.
so much drinking, so, I thought of two different things. One's kind of funny and one's not that funny, but it's a fun story with alcohol. One of them is I went to a wedding with my wife, and it was one of her very, very good friends. So this was early. I don't know if it was that early in our relationship, but we've been together a while. So her friends knew me, and I've met all of them and everything. And the wedding happened to be in Southern California, so it was like perfect. We went there and everything. We just had like a great time, really nice wedding at a house, and I was just like getting along with everybody, being party guy. Oh yeah, just having a blast, and I held it together the entire wedding. I was drinking whiskey, which I do not drink. Hard alcohol. It's like not a good idea. But yeah, I was feeling. Wedding. Oh, I was feeling great. And it was literally the last group to get on the bus ever. So I had held together. You would have said, "Oh, that's a fun guy right there." We get on the bus, and then I immediately turned to my wife and was like, "I gotta get off the bus." So we get off the bus, and she's like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" It's like, "I just gotta go sit down." And we're at the bride's dad's house. So I'm just in the garden. So I ended up getting real sick, like in the garden. And so they were like, "Oh, we got to get me back to the hotel."
Yeah.
And we eventually get back to the hotel, and I just like face planted in the planter in the front of like a Hyatt. So you have like the nice entrance or whatever, and I'm just in the garden. And the funny part being my wife was like, "I'm not even really mad or anything. Like he didn't embarrass himself like with my friends or anything. Like he's just a mess now." And so we were sharing a room with her friends, so they were down there too. So everyone's just sitting around me taking pictures. So there's a ton of pictures of me in a nice suit. Face like in the dirt, face planted, completely passed out. Oh yeah. Oh, they were putting my body parts like on the curtain. Like, I was done. And the next day I got up and I'm like, "I'm real sorry, everybody. I don't know really
they're
what."
Like, we had a
and
great
they were like,
time
"Oh
with
no,
you
were great, man. It's fine. Don't even worry." And I was like, "Oh really?" Like look at these pictures, So
that's fun.
Yeah, there you go.
That is. Yeah. So where can we find you guys? Where can our listeners find you guys?
So lots of options. They can hire us for catering for birthday parties, weddings, anything like that. We're also at the Moonlight anytime the Moonlight's open. And then we're at events all over San Diego. You can follow us on our Instagram, and we post what events we're going to be at. And then we're going to be at Oceanside starting late August.
What's your Instagram handle?
We have multiple, but it's Bread and Cheese Eatery, Bread and Cheese Catering, and Breakfast Burritos, Pineapple Crush SD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like to say for our catering, we're kind of like, I think we're the best alternative to the taco truck. Everyone's had the taco truck at their house. So you're like, what do we do? We need some catering.
Right.
We cook on site. So we come, set up our whole setup.
Cheese sandwiches, and we bring a bunch of them.
We set it up,
keep serving them.
and we just go. And people can come up and they can try them all. And we do,
as many times as you want.
Yeah. So it's real fun. Yeah.
After
good
this,
deal.
we need to talk about the pricing. All you can eat. Come
All
on.
you can eat.
Come on.
And website?
Bread and Cheese Catering, Bread and Cheese Eatery, Pineapple Crush SD, and breakfastburritos.com coming
Not all in one.
2 weeks. Yeah, they're 4 different websites.
breadandcheesecatering.com.
Breakfast Burritos website's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now I remember your business card. Because I remember you had the bread and
Grilled cheese on
eatery
one
and
side
then
and
the
the-
pineapple
You
crush
thought
on
it
the
was 2 cards
other.
and you were like, "Oh."
I was forever. I was. Oh, yeah. That was very creative to kind of do it like that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, food was amazing as
you.
always. And thank you for bringing the beer.
Yeah. Gotta have beer.
Gotta have beer.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Great hanging out.
Yes.
You want to close us out?
Yeah. Make sure to follow and subscribe Odd Pairing Podcast. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. No,
We're not on Twitter.
not on Twitter.
Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
We got rid of that one.
You axed it out, right?
Yeah, we exited out.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, we on TikTok. Yeah.
That's it. Odd Pairing out.
Thanks for listening and watching Odd Pairing. So please subscribe, like, rate,
And comment with your favorite drinking stories and curiosities about adult beverages. Cheers.
I'm going to happy hour. Who's driving?